no spoilers, but you've seen Fury Road, right?
Yeah, I've seen Fury Road. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So I've seen the movie. I'll tell you what I think about it, but let me ask you this: when you first saw the first trailer for Furiosa, and in the context of Girl Boss, what was your feelings about the character Furiosa and Anya Taylor-Joy playing her?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like this was going to be. It did feel like it was going to be the prototypical girl boss can do anything kind of movie. I didn't again. I haven't seen it obviously, but it felt that way. Um, and I thought my first thoughts were this is unnecessary. I don't need this. So I was kind of curious as to why they were making this movie. And then I started thinking, yeah, it's probably got something to do with, hey, we're going to have a female protagonist in the Mad Max series for the first time. We want to do Furiosa. So I didn't, I don't know. I'm not sold on the fact that this is a film that is, necessary because I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I've heard is good. So I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. But it feels like this was a push to just push a female protagonist in Mad Max. It's the Mad Max saga instead of just having her own thing. It's like, I don't know if
Yeah.
this character stands alone outside of the Mad Max universe. Like, would I go and see a film like this if it didn't connect to the Mad Max saga in some way? I don't know. So,
Yeah.
but that's
What
kind of
did
what
you
my
think?
initial thoughts were.
What did you think of Furiosa, Charlize Theron in Fury
I
Road?
loved
What did
it.
you think of that
Oh,
character?
I love the original, the first Mad Max Fury Road. I loved it. I loved it, and I thought it was, I thought it was. I don't know. I haven't seen it in like a couple of years, but I thought it was well done. I thought the character was well developed at that point. I didn't really need any more of her, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. I was just kind of like, okay, good character, good movie. Enjoyed the ride, and that was it. I didn't
Yeah.
really think there was any room for more of a story, but I guess now you're telling the prequel to that. So okay. But yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't really into the I didn't think this character really needed more development or more of a story. And so that's why I felt like, is this just more them trying to get a girl boss character pushed into the, mainstream? We're going to use this character Furiosa as that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I found it interesting. You know, in terms of the girl boss, and I'll just say this since not many have seen it, I'll try to do this without much spoilers. But
Okay.
um, I think, I think this is, I think George Miller did a really good job with Furiosa. Um, I mentioned it before. I think this is the almost the perfect prequel in terms of. I think he even did a better job as the Fury Road prequel than maybe George Lucas did with his prequels. Um, the Having said that, I'll also say this movie is too damn long. Um,
Mhm.
so basically, the story starts where Furiosa is in the green, the the where there's water, there's greenery, there's fruit. It's kind of like Eden in the middle of hell. And because when you see Fury Road, you know that that's where she wants to go. She wants to go back home, and this is that story where Furiosa is taken out of that world, and she
Okay.
spends her entire life trying to get back home. And like spoilers only in the sense that we've seen Fury Road and we know where this is going. That is her journey to go back home. And while Fury Road is probably more equally a Mad Max and Furiosa story, and this one just sets that up. And it's just about a girl who is taken away, enslaved, um, being set up for bigger things, and in the process, she has this desire to go home, back to Eden, back to the green, and has to figure out a way to do that, and learn how to survive, and learn
Hmm.
how to fight. And
Okay.
there, in the middle of the movie, there's she runs into I forget his name, but a man who I believe there's some kind of romantic intention there, but he basically teaches her how to survive. He teaches her how to shoot a gun, how to live the life of a driver on the road in this world. And
Okay.
so there is, I think where the girl boss ends here is the sense that there is a complete arc. in the sense of
Mm,
where she starts as a little girl, who's basically caged for most of the beginning of her life, to the point where she is now Furiosa at the end, the
gotcha.
gun-toting, one-armed, one-armed woman. I'll say this: there's probably one moment of girl bossiness, which would be, she loses her arm. We see how she loses her arm, and she miraculously creates a prosthetic arm on her own with one hand that
Oh
works
wow.
perfectly, and and has the way she's able to take her mechanical hand and wipe wipe the hair out of her eyes. That's I'm like, wow, that's pretty damn good. But
Oh,
other
that's too
than
much.
but other than that, it's like, you see certain things like how she fights. You're not going to see a lot of her having hand-to-hand combat with more than one man, or one man for that matter. You're going to
Okay.
see that she does her best at a distance. She has a gun. She knows how to shoot a gun. She can drive a car. She knows how to kill men with cars. That's
Okay.
kind of
But
that's where the
what
realism
you're
comes in.
saying, and I'm here if I'm hearing correctly, it's believable, for a woman in this setting. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's all we ask for as, hey, don't go too over the top and
Hmm.
too, fantastically with this. Just keep it grounded somewhat, in this era of girl bosses where girls get it done all the time. Okay, can we add a little bit more realism to it? Because again, it takes me completely out of the story when I see a 110-pound woman, just absolutely mopping the floor with some guy that's 260. Knowing
Yeah.
damn well that would never happen in real life. And so, is this woman does she have superpowers or something? Is she from Krypton, or is she just,
Yeah.
no, she's well trained? I don't care if she's well trained. That makes
Yeah.
no sense. You
Well,
know?
the other thing is like, she doesn't magically know the answer to get out of every situation, which is, I
Okay.
think, when I look at Star Wars, that's what I see as the girl bossiness, where the characters just know what to do next, where the fight choreography feels like fight choreography, where
Yeah.
it's more about the dance and the movement of the fight as opposed to how am I going to subdue my opponent.
Right.
What do I need to
Right.
do? Do I need to take their legs out? Do I need to get them on the ground? Do I need to punch them or strike them with a wrench, just because they're able to withstand my punches? Those are the things that it's like, in Iron Claw. There's a moment where um, one of the brothers tells the other, every move, your moves have to mean something. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
fake fighting, but when you punch me in the face, it's got to mean something. You have to be doing that for a reason. When you put me in an arm bar, there has to be a reason for that. And
Yeah.
and there's what's good about fighting is it's half fight and half luck. You can be an accomplished fighter, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you got to get lucky at times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real, man. Real talk. Yeah, I just think that's where a lot of this stuff falls apart. It's just, again, we see the experiences in the real world and what we see on film. And again, I understand it's not real, it's fake, it's, written, but it still has to have some air of believability in order for it to work. And if it doesn't have that, then people are just checking out. You've already taken me out of the movie as soon as you show me a 110-pound woman destroying some guy that's twice her size. I'm like, all right,
Hmm.
I'm already out, and I can't really believe what's happening here. So, and that's the major issue with a lot of these girl boss, especially when it comes to the action stuff. And then, like you mentioned in Star Wars, when it comes to just knowing every answer, and then everybody around her is just, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, you're so amazing! I can't believe you understood. And it's like, yeah, but in reality, like a lot of other people would have probably had that answer as well, or she would have said, oh, I don't know, let me go and look that up, or let me ask somebody. It's like they never need any help. The Mary Sue never needs anybody's help, and she does everything perfectly. I
Yeah.
think that's the major issue with the girl boss is the Mary Sue girl bosses. You know,
Hmm.
if you're a girl boss, but you've earned it and you have some and there's some
Yeah.
believability to it, okay. But if you're just, oh, she's just perfect, she's just been given this stuff and nobody knows why, and it's not the story never set that up. All right, I'm out of the story. You've taken me out because
Yeah.
I'm seeing something that I just don't believe.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, when she starts doing the girl boss things, this is after
Is it
years of
believable?
mentorship. It's
It's
believable.
believable.
I think
Okay.
I believe so. I couch it by saying because I haven't seen it in a long time, that it feels like it's believable. And it's one of those. We've been seeing so many girl boss stories that when we finally see something go against it, it. I think we say it's better than it really is. I'm pretty
Mm.
confident that we're gonna like it. But like I said, go out and see it tomorrow. Let's talk about it Friday morning. Um, because I think there's, I'll say this: the most interesting part is how she loses her arm, and
Okay.
I'll say this: no girl boss would ever lose her arm that way. You just can't write it that way. That's the thing.
Yeah. That was one of the
So
problems with Ray Skywalker, Ray Palpatine. She never lost an arm. Like, yo,
yeah,
you ain't a Skywalker until you get your arm cut off or a hand or something.
yeah,
It's like, hey, lose something. But nope, she can't.
I
She's
know.
perfect. She's
Yeah, that's the
perfect.
point. For her to call herself Rey Skywalker, she should have just cut off her arm, and then we would believe that she was Skywalker.
That would have
All
been
right,
awesome right there at the end.
that would have been.
They said, what's your name? Ray. And then she just lights the sky. Skywalker.
Yeah, well,
That would
that's
have
the
been
thing. Heroes today have had a major traumatic event like that, losing your arm. That we'll start at that's the base level for a hero. You got to have experienced something traumatic in your life.
right.